You're watching Startup Central and time to get on board a very exciting and very insightful update. And we have a guest joining us as well, Mr. Balu Ramachandran, Senior Vice President at Cleartrip. Hi, Mr. Ramachandran. Thank you so much for taking time out to chat with us. I would like to firstly know about this Cleartrip for Work solution that you have just launched. It sounds like a purely B2B sort of a setup or a B2B sort of a solution. Can you tell us a bit more? Is it for individuals as well?
Sure. So my pleasure being here on the show. So Cleartrip for Work is a B2C solution. This unlocks corporate fare benefits that was previously available only within closed corporate environments into a large set of individual travelers who are either working for companies with open travel policies or are part of MSME organizations. And the entire value proposition of Cleartrip for Work is unlocked by just the traveler using the GST number of her or his organization and complete the 30-second sign-up process, and the fares become available to the individual traveler. So it is a B2C solution targeted at the individual traveler.
All right. Can you tell me what is the opportunity that you're eyeing in this segment? Because it's a very niche sort of a service that you're offering here. So what exactly is the opportunity size?
So on the contrary, right, I think that when we speak about corporate travel, a lot of that today is happening within the managed corporate environments. And there is a large strata of people in India who travel for work who don't have access to the corporate fares. So if you look at some of the stats, right, I think there are some 25-30 million MSMEs who are registered in India, and a large set of that, about 90% of that, are actually in the micro segment. And most of these travelers for these companies don't have access to the corporate fares because they are too small to be targeted by the normal corporate outreach programs that the travel management companies do, or what airlines do or hoteliers do. So what we're doing is just unlocking that large base of travelers who are traveling for work today but are not able to get the benefits of corporate fares. We're just giving them access into the corporate fares using Cleartrip for Work.
What exactly is the traction that you are eyeing for the next 1-2 years?
Absolutely. So I think given that we believe that this is a large unaddressed market, in the next 12 months, we are targeting that this should enable us to reach $100 to $150 million GMV on flight and hotel bookings.
All right, that sounds heartening. When you say corporate benefits, it usually varies from company to company, but typically what exactly are the kind of services you are looking to offer now to individual travelers as well who are making trips for work?
We have partnered with flights and hotels to bring in a whole host of benefits into this program. So typical corporate fares on air come with free amendments. It could come with reduced cancellation benefits. On the low-cost carriers, you would tend to get a free meal as well, and there are some benefits in terms of lower seat selection fees and so on. So that's the host of benefits that come on these fares. And on top of it, what's also happening is that Cleartrip is offering a 4% discount on domestic and international flights, and on hotels, domestic and international, we have a 10% cashback as well. So that's really what the set of offerings that's going to be available using Cleartrip for Work.
Okay. All right. I just want to understand for the benefit of our viewers who are watching the show as well, can you tell us how exactly can they avail the service?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a very, very simple sign-up process. You come into Cleartrip and within the booking flow itself, we have opportunities for you to come into the corporate Cleartrip for Work flow. All you need is your name, email ID, and a GST number, and that's it. You're signed up for the program.
All right, that's fairly easy. But tell me something, Mr. Ramachandran, over and above this particular solution that you're providing, you have been offering these flexi services to the travelers for some time now. What exactly has been the kind of revenue you've generated or in terms of revenue growth that you've seen ever since you've launched flexi services?
So FlexiFly is another product that we have launched for our consumers about 2 months back. And what that does is that it allows a person who chooses to opt for the FlexiFly ticket to avail of one amendment free. So what that means is that the cost of the amendment that is normally charged is reimbursed back to you, and you need to pay for the flight, the fare difference alone. FlexiFly has been an interesting story for us. We've managed to see that FlexiFly is getting a 20% attach rate, which means that 20% of the consumers who are booking flights on Cleartrip today are opting to go in for the FlexiFly product. So it's been phenomenal success as far as we are concerned.
Okay. All right. Over and above everything that you've told us about Cleartrip for work, what are the terms and conditions, or what are some exceptions that, or some caveats that our viewers and travelers should be watching out for, if any?
So, as I said, the benefits of the SME fares, or the work fares as we call it, are kind of democratically available, and it is listed online while you're making the option. So, in the booking flow, you have, as a consumer, the option of either buying the retail fares or buying the work fares, and the specific inclusions, exclusions of those fares are mentioned right up there. And in addition to the inclusions that are there, I think there are two aspects that I forgot to mention earlier. One is that the work fares allow you to unlock the compliant GST invoices, which allows for easy reimbursements as well as ability to take input credits of GST back into your organization. And we also have the traveler section where you find a consolidated set of travel that you've done, and it makes it more simple for you to go then make a consolidated claim as well. Right. And apart from this, I think that there's no other TNCs really. It's just all transparently available in terms of what's available and what's not available for every fare that we're making available on Cleartrip for work.
Okay. Just stepping aside from your latest launch, Mr. Ramachandran, since you've been part of the industry for so long, I just want to get in your perspective on has the travel industry or travel, hospitality and the kind of services you're offering, has that been impacted at all by the recent slowdown? Because definitely over and above how certain sectors have underperformed, the sentimental demand slowdown has really been quite significant. So have you all seen any impact at all in the last 3 or 4 odd months?
The Indian aviation space has seen some interesting times after the fall of Jet Airways. So the net capacity additions in India over the last 6 months or so has been about 3 to 4% on average. If you contrast that with what was happening last year, in the first 6 months of last financial year, the net capacity additions was north of 25% year on year. And the growth in passenger numbers have also kind of kept pace with the capacity addition numbers, right? So last year at the same time we had passenger growth numbers excess of 20%. This year the passenger numbers are in the 2 to 3% kind of range. So I think the reason why I spoke about capacity additions is that the passenger growth numbers kind of have fallen slightly behind the capacity addition numbers, and so far I don't think there's any indications, at least with the data that's come out so far, of a recessionary trend that's impacted air travel. The reduction of growth is purely to do with the market sentiments and conditions after Jet Airways. That said, I think that if there is a prolonged period of slow growth and there's a lot of negativity that might impact consumer sentiment, you would expect to see some of that translate into travel as well.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about festive trends, especially when it comes to long weekends. We've had so many this year, and even in the coming next 2 months, there are a couple of long weekends lined up. Diwali, there's Guru Purab, there's Christmas, etc. Long weekends, and even millennials who like to travel even though there are festivals, etc. Despite that, they prefer traveling and making the most of these long weekends. So what is the kind of uptick you've witnessed in this quarter, or you're expecting to witness in the last quarter of this year, which is October, November, December?
So generally for long weekends, what we see is that the demand tends to be 30 to 40% higher than the normal average time. And we don't see any change to that. I think that the sentiment is very, very clearly moving towards people traveling at a whim and fancy. If it is 3 days or 4 days, people are still willing to go and make travel plans, both domestically as well as internationally. I think that sentiment will still hold. I think what is important in the environment is in terms of what the overall pricing and cost of it is going to be. And as long as that's not prohibitive and airfares don't move up significantly, I think that overall sentiment will remain positive and people will continue to do a lot of travel for long weekends as well.